Dan, good to see you.
Hey.
Dan Wilson, last time we saw was with the band Semisonic, but so much has happened since then, what a great chance to catch up. Why don't we begin with your association with the Dixie Chicks and the Grammy? What an adventure.
Yeah, that was amazing. I think the way that started out was actually they were talking to Rick Rubin about him producing their album, and he was sharing some stuff that he'd been working on, and he played them several songs from my record, and they really dug it. And I think when the time came to pick co-writers, they all thought it would be worth a try to get together with me, and we had a great time.
Talk about the process then. What happens? You're sitting across from Natalie, or the kids there?
No, it was the four of us, the Chicks and me, in a room like this, with couches and guitars lying around, and kind of just shooting the breeze and talking about, because I was very curious, just from almost like a selfish perspective, just to be informed. I wanted to know what their point of view was on the controversies they'd gone through, and from outside it looked so disappointing. It looked like they'd had this wonderful kind of princess existence, however it felt to them, it looked like it.
Yeah. Sure.
And then they just had that, terrible fall from grace, and it seemed so unjust to me. So I got a chance to kind of get them to tell stories about it, and they're very funny people. So we just kind of laughed for an entire day, and at the end of the day, we had a couple ideas for songs, and kind of worked from there.
Can I just ask one follow-up to that?
Please, yeah.
Were you there when she recorded it the first time?
You mean Not Ready to Make Nice?
Yeah.
I wasn't there for this.
I've always wondered about, just because it's such a personal song and probably the biggest hurt of her lifetime, what that experience was like the first time it came out with music.
Well, it's really interesting because we had kind of talked about different possibilities. I had this idea that they should do a song about being united. So I was saying, what about like a song like like United or Undivided, something like that. Because I felt like also in politics that the message everyone was getting was to be divided. Be divided, divide yourselves and get mad at the other side. And Natalie, who is the quickest person I've ever met to get to the point, she said, does that mean I have to forgive all those people that mistreated us? And I said, maybe for the song, yeah. And she said, well, no.
Not going to happen then.
Nope.
Wow.
And
how interesting.
And so when the next day, I had my espresso really early in the morning, and I thought of that phrase, "Not ready to make nice."
Yeah.
I thought, that's actually, maybe that's a better way to go.
And when you hit her with
it certainly allowed her passion to come out.
Yeah,
so I've never seen it before.
It's interesting. We got down to business, but I sang them a little bit that I had, just a little kind of like a seed, a germ, and I was just like, we were writing the song right away. It was clear that they knew it was going to happen and it was going to be good, And I think it's funny, I didn't really get, I left town, we had a nice time, we all sort of hugged goodbye, and I went back to Minneapolis, and about 3 weeks later, I called Rick Rubin about something else.
Yeah.
And I said, did you ever hear back from those songs that I wrote with the Chicks?
Yeah.
Because we did 2 songs, and made simple demos of them, and no one had talked to me about it or anything. So I thought, well,
yeah, it was a fun adventure.
Better luck next time.
Good times.
And he said, oh, well, they're the best songs we have.
Wow. So it's like learning that your book has gone to New York Times bestseller. By the way, you're number one.
Yeah, but no one mentioned
So do you get paid, you write the song, they take the song, they record it, regardless of whether it's a good song or not, you get paid the same?
Oh, no. No, you don't get paid unless it's a good song. But also you don't get paid unless people buy the record.
Wait a minute, because it would seem to me that you get paid a lump sum for just writing this.
No. It's all spec.
Wow.
It's all like, it's all, hey, do you want to have the royalties for the rest of your life on a hit song, then you can work for free today.
Yeah, you can toss this out into the ballpark, and if we use it and it works, you'll get paid. If we don't, well, hey, good times.
So a lot of writers that, the Nashville writing thing is to write 200 days a year, and those people just like pump out the songs, and and none of it's paid work until the song gets played on the radio and bought by a fan.
Whew.
So
it's tough.
It's purely speculative.
So I noticed when they went up on stage to get the Grammy for Not Ready to Make Nice, you weren't there. Why not?
Well, I had gone up for Song of the Year with them, and they were, believe it or not, I think they were flabbergasted. They didn't know what to say, and they just kept. The mic went around and around, and finally landed in my hand. So I thanked my colleagues and my family. But that was the Songwriter Award. The Song of the Year is for the writers. The four of us wrote that song together. The Record of the Year, Album of the Year. Record of the Year is for the single, for the sound of it, for the way it's put together and performed. And I just didn't feel like that was mine to win. So I was just sitting like 30, 40 feet away. And Marty said, "Where's Dan Wilson?" And I kind of stood up and waved, and she said, "What are you doing? You got to come up here." So I did. I went up.
You've mentioned Rick Rubin's name a couple times,
yeah.
And for those watching that don't know, Rick is just this huge presence as a producer in the music industry. He's a big bear of a man with a giant ZZ Top beard, and I mean he's behind Black Crowes and Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood, Sugar, Sex Magic. So you hook up with a man like Rick Rubin. Mm-hmm. Where are you mentally with this? How do you feel about that?
Well, I was pretty blown away to be meeting him, because I kind of took him as I made a conscious decision in the early stages of this solo album that I was gonna that I was on a hunt for a mentor. Mm. I really needed to find someone who knew a lot more than I know, and I kind of put it out there. I told all my friends, and I kind of just made it like very common knowledge around my scene anyway that Dan's looking for a guru, and. Still, when Sheryl Crow she sang on a couple of songs that I'd been recording, and I sent her mixes, and she gave a copy to Rick, and Rick called me one afternoon. You want to get together and talk about music? I almost didn't connect it. I almost didn't think, oh, here's my mentor guru. I wasn't quite there yet, because I just thought, oh, this is an odd little side road of my life. I'm going to hang out with Rick Rubin and talk about music. And what he wanted to do was to find out, did I want to just release the songs as I had them, or did I want to work further with him and try to make more of a project with him? Mm-hmm. And then I kind of realized, I put out this kind of message to the world, and Rick Rubin floated back.
Yeah.
Was that the delay? I know that a lot of your fans have just been kind of biting their nails, because it was supposed to be a year deadline that you gave yourself.
Yeah, it's been many years. I had a couple things. I had a kind of a long process working with Rick on the record. I'd say we worked on it for 2 years after I met him, and that gets us to early 2005, and then I had a medical problem, and I lost 6 months to that.
Like your lung collapsed.
I had a lung tumor that had to be removed surgically.
Wow.
Yeah. So
gives you a second to stop and take stock of your life, and it's like,
it's actually sort of
probably change a few songs out of that.
I got a lot of songs out of it, actually, and they saved me. They saved me, and and now I'm good.
Mm.
Awesome.
But that probably took a lot of 2005, and then last year, Rick was moving his label American from Warner Brother to be part of Columbia.
Yeah.
So it's been more of a, I don't know. It's been a journey, but part of the journey has been me just sort of sitting in the back of the bus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, the journey has brought us to Free Life. It's the album, the solo album, the much anticipated solo album. It comes out on October 16th, and it's been a blast catching up with you, man. It's always a pleasure to.
Thanks for
it's always a pleasure to spend time with you.
Yeah, I'm very glad you guys had me here.